When I first started my photography business 9 years ago, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but there was one thing that I did have, and that was the courage to start. I knew that if I started, I was gonna learn as I went. Hey guys, my name is Dalton, and over the last 9 years, I've built a travel photography business that has sent me to all corners of the globe, working on exciting projects with brands like DJI, Anchor, Spotify, and Samsonite. During this time, I've also helped thousands of other creatives start their creative businesses as well. Our portfolio is really one of the most foundational pieces for our creative business. It's what's going to help us get clients early on. And if you're running a creative business, you 100% need a portfolio. Now, portfolios can look a lot of different ways. It can be a PDF document, but typically these days it is a website. And this might sound scary to you, starting a website and setting it up and organizing it, but trust me when I say it's really not that difficult to set up a website. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using Squarespace. But before we jump on the computer and do that, I want to talk about a few things that your portfolio should have. Number one, it should have an About Me page that says who you are. This is an opportunity for you to express the person behind your work. Like I said earlier, having that personal brand and having the stories behind your work is really important for helping your work stand out. So take that opportunity to build an About Me page, and I'll show you how to do that and share your life experiences and how those experiences have shaped your work. Now, another thing that a portfolio should have is several different sections for the different types of work that you do. So for example, for me, I have a section on landscape photography, portrait photography, and commercial photography. Now, when I'm reaching out to clients, I will send them the relevant portfolio to them. I cannot choose one specific style of photography. I love so many of them, and I want to continue to work in those specific styles. So I have multiple styles in my portfolio, and that is totally okay. So say, for example, you're a graphic designer and you have a little bit of experience working on logos. We can create a section for logos. And then maybe you have a bit of experience in branding where you can create a section in your portfolio for that. And then maybe there's another area of graphic design that you have experience in where you can create that page as well. Now for illustrators, this might be portraits, greeting cards, and another category as well. You don't need to completely niche down. We can create multiple sections in our portfolio, and then when we go on to reaching out to clients, we can just send them that specific portfolio. And one last thing, guys, this doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to get this off the ground. This is V1. There can always be V2, V3, V4. The most important thing is getting it out there and starting this process. You can always build it and improve it as you go. And if you're anything like me, you are a perfectionist and you need things to be perfect before you publish or before you put something out into the world. But that is one of the things that's going to hold you back the most. We just need to get V1 out. We can always improve it in the future. So let's jump onto the computer and I'm going to show you guys how we can build a website portfolio in a very short amount of time. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome to my computer. I want to show you how we can build a website portfolio using Squarespace. Now, in this example, I'm going to be showing you how I would create a photography portfolio because that is my area of expertise, but the principles can be applied to pretty much any creative career. I just want to show you guys how to use Squarespace in and out. Squarespace is absolutely amazing. It's really easy to use. The designs look amazing. And Squarespace 7.1, the newest release of Squarespace, is even more powerful for us with a really great drag and drop editor that we can basically customize any page the way we want it to look. It works really well on mobile. And also Squarespace has some really great commerce features so we can sell our products very easily. I'm just a massive fan. You know, there's a lot of other websites out there where you can build a visual portfolio and even sell online products, but I find Squarespace to be the best, and it's also the most popular. A lot of travel photographers, a lot of photographers in general are using Squarespace because it's such a great platform for us. But let's just jump into this. When you first open up Squarespace, you know, it's going to ask you to sign up and all that stuff, but eventually you'll get to a place where it's going to ask you what your site is about. So of course we can click photography, then we can click next. What are your top goals? You can go ahead and answer all of these. I'm just going to skip this. What it's trying to do is recommend us a template. What stage are we at? We are currently growing an existing business. Then it's going to ask us how we would like to get started. Do we want to build our own custom site with a Squarespace blueprint, or do we want to choose a professionally designed website template? I'm going to go with website template because I think the templates are awesome. And then it's just going to recommend a bunch of great templates for us that we can just start building off of. And there's so many good ones here, especially if we just go up here and click portfolio. These are all really great portfolio-based websites, and that's all we're trying to do right now is just build a collection of our images that we can easily send out and share with other people. So I recommend going through all of these. There's so many good ones on here, honestly. This one looks quite interesting, actually. I don't think I've ever played with this one. So why don't we just go ahead and select start with Matsuya. I've never seen this template before, so let's see what we can do. It's going to ask you to name your site. I'm going to put Sean Dalton, just my name there. Continue. Edit pages. Okay. It's basically just going through a little tutorial and it's bugging out pretty hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that because I kind of know how to use it. And then I'm also going to close the assistant here. Now it's putting me straight into the editor, but I'm going to go back and just kind of quickly walk you through kind of how this works. So on the left here, we have pages, design, commerce. This is kind of where we're going to do all of our editing. These are kind of like the folders for our editing. So under pages, you can see this is our main navigation here, overview, people, things, contact. Anything we put up here is going to show up here on the top bar, nice and simple. And then anything that is not linked is not going to show up here, but the web page is still going to be active. We can go ahead and just drag that down there, for example. Now, when you open up the template, it's going to have a page like pretty much already done for you. And if you click on it, then you can go ahead and edit that page by clicking edit up here in the top left-hand corner. As you can see, we can edit our site header here if we want. And then this is a gallery block. So what's cool about that is, there's a bunch of photos already in here. And this says overview. Now I would change this to maybe commercial. I love the fact that the first page when you visit this website is just a bunch of awesome photos. It's like right away, this person's a photographer and these are their images. So it's really easy to get into their portfolio, and I love that. And that's one of the things that I recommend when first starting out is, yeah, you can have a page where you have like a bunch of call to actions, and especially if you're selling digital products, and maybe later down the line when your digital product business is a little bit more robust, you can do that. But I think in the beginning, having just a straight up portfolio right off the bat is the best thing you can do for your business. So here in this section, like I said, it's a gallery. We can just go right here and click edit gallery. And now there's a bunch of images in here already, and none of these are mine. So what we can do is just go ahead and delete all of these. I actually really like these images, but we're just going to delete them. And then what we can do is just click on this little plus sign and upload images, and that will bring us to our own images. So I just have a collection of photos here that I can add. And when you're building your portfolio, one of the things that I recommend is to keep a specific place on your computer or on Google Drive or on Dropbox with all those photos in your portfolio. So all your best photos are easily accessed, and then you can easily just upload them onto a gallery instead of, just going through all of your exports over the years and adding them there. We want to make sure we have a place where all of our, portfolio images are collected in one place. So let's just let this load in. Great, now that it's all loaded in, what we can do is drag around the photos to change the order if we want to, which is awesome. I love this feature. And then we can just go ahead and close this, and boom, all of our images are already in there, nice and clean. But I don't like that this says overview. So what I'm going to do is click exit here. It's already saved. And then I'm going to click this little icon next to overview, and then I can change the page title to commercial, because this is my commercial portfolio. This is the portfolio that I want people to see right away when they enter my website. And then boom, click save, and then that will change that up there. So boom, commercial. And then we could do the same thing for people. So let's click on this page and check out people here. Okay, it's the same type of thing. It's just portraits. So what we can go ahead and do is, sometimes when you click it, it moves it down into not linked. I'm not sure why. We can just drag that back up there. Let's go ahead and edit this, change this to landscape, and landscape there. Click save there. And then we'll do the same thing with the gallery here. We can just go ahead and click edit up here. We can edit our gallery, And then we can change out all those photos to include landscape photos. Let's just do that real quick. And we can also include a description here, a collection of landscape photos photographed by Sean Dalton, something like that. I think that might show up on the top. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure where that shows up. I think it just shows up in the page description. So now we have all of our photos here. That's awesome. We can also edit this section and we can change the spacing if you want to. If we want to make the spacing a little bit less, if we want it to just be 2 columns, we can do that here. I think 3 columns looks good. Maybe a little bit less of spacing. I really like how big the images are on this template. It just looks really good. So I think that looks pretty nice. We can even change the animation here and the light box. So if we click that, then we can zoom in on each photo, which is pretty cool. Might as well just save that. Okay, so there we have 2 pages done. Oh, one thing I wanted to edit on this people page, which I'm not sure what happened. Oh, it's landscape. But one more thing I wanted to edit on this people page actually is the fact that it says people right there. So this is a good opportunity to show you kind of how the drag and drop editor works. To add a section or to remove a section, all you have to do is hover over it and then click remove. And then that will remove that whole section there. But then you can click add section, and then we have a bunch of awesome templates that we can add in that just look really great, you know? Now, I think, like I said, it's just nice to jump into the photos, but for like an about me page, for a product page, all of these things are really, really awesome. We even have different portfolio templates that we can add in here. Some of them are pretty cool, but I think some of them are just a bit limiting. Like this one has quite small images. Yeah, it's got a great design, but I'm not a huge fan. We could add something like this. We could put one photo here and leave the left side blank and then just name this landscape. And that looks like nice and clean. However, like I said, I think it's best if you just jump into the photos, you know, just show people what it's about. So instead, I'm just going to remove that. So once we delete that, now our photos are just boom, right there, front and center, which I think looks really great. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And you can do the same thing for commercial. And you can build multiple of these pages. It's really easy to do. And you can also just duplicate the pages. So you can just click here, and then you can scroll down to the bottom and click duplicate page, and then that will duplicate that page, and then you can change that to, you know, portraits, and then you can just plug your portraits in there. But now let's talk about site styles. Now, this is really easy to edit. Let's go back to our commercial page here. Click edit here, and then on the top right hand corner you can see site styles here, and this is a great way to customize your specific website. So you can go to fonts, and then you can just choose a font pack, which I think is great. There's so many to choose from. It'll pop up right away and display what it looks like. Let's just click through a few here that I think look kind of cool. Adonis looks nice. It's nice and clean. It's modern. It's professional. Able looks good. I think that's the one that came on the site. Let's see, Poppins. This is actually what I'm using on my website. Not with this sub font, but Poppins as the main font. Orpheus Pro, ITC Avant-Garde. I think that one looks pretty cool. So let's just leave it at that. I think you guys get the idea there. And you can choose between, you know, sans serif, serif, or mixed. So let's go back. One thing I don't like is how big these are, like these navigation buttons here. So I can just click that, and that will move me straight into the site navigation styling tools. And then I can choose, you know, how much the site style that I want. So if I go to custom, that will allow me to change the size there. That looks a little bit better. I can go back. And then we can also do that with the site title. We can change the size there. And this is basically our kind of master style editor here. But you could also just hover over elements, and then it'll select that certain part of the style editor there. So you can go through and play around with this. I think there's a way to edit colors as well. So that is site styles. You can go ahead and play around with this as well. You can change image blocks. You can do a lot with this, and you can really customize things to your liking, which is one of the reasons why I really like Squarespace. And then you can also go ahead and edit your header section. You could add a logo in there. You can add elements like social links. So you can see I have that enabled. And with social links, you can edit social icons. Boom, Instagram will show up, and then you can just change that to yours. So let's change that to Sean Dalt. We can add one for YouTube if you have a YouTube account, and it'll automatically give you that little icon there. So I think our site design looks pretty good, but the other thing we need to do is get rid of things because we're not using things. Maybe you want to make a portrait page for that, but we're just going to go ahead and delete that page there. But then, of course, we need to create a contact page. So I'm going to go to contact here, and that is going to have this preset thing here. But you know what? I don't like this template, so I'm just going to leave that under not linked. And I'm going to create a new page here by clicking this little plus sign. I'm going to say use page layout, and then I'm going to go down to about. And now we have a bunch of awesome templates that we can use for our about page. And I like this one. It's clean. It's simple. I'm just going to make that about. And now we have a page that we can easily edit into something our own. So we can go ahead and just select this and say, hey, I'm Sean. You can write something here. I'm a professional travel photographer based in Bali, Indonesia, etc. Write what you want. And then you can go here to the image. You can click edit, delete this one. And then you can go ahead and upload your own. And I recommend that you choose one that shows your face. Boom, that is pretty much good to go. That looks great. We can edit this. We can add sections here. Say we wanted to add a contact section. We can click section. We can click contact here. And then you can have a form if you want, maybe just a simple form. You could also just put your links in there. So maybe something like this, a contact me form. And then you can just delete contact us and say, interested in working with me, and then something like that. And then people can fill out this form here. You can customize this if you want, give them a little bit more instructions, and then you are pretty much good to go. So we have our about me page. We have our portfolio here. So let's save that, exit out, make sure commercials at the top. And now we have pretty much all of our pages here. We have our social navigation. Now, if you wanted to have people land on your landscape page instead of your commercial page, as you know, when they type in your website name, go ahead and click landscape and then go ahead and set as homepage, confirm. And now whenever people enter your website, whatever your domain is, they will land on the landscape site. See, it has a little home icon there. So that's how you know that's your homepage. So those are pretty much the only things that we need to have in place when we're first starting out. And look at this. We already have a beautiful portfolio with several pages that looks great. But the other thing I wanted to talk about in this tutorial is choosing a domain. Now, sometimes you can choose a domain right when you first start out on Squarespace, but you can also purchase them later. So to do that, all you have to do is go to settings, go to domains, get a domain, and then you can go ahead and purchase a new domain. Now, SeanDalton.com is unavailable. I think it's like $10,000, so I'm not going to be getting that anytime soon. I wouldn't recommend anything like .net or .org. I would definitely recommend .com. If your name is taken, I always recommend going for your name first, but if it's a popular name, you could try shortening it, or you could try adding photo at the end. You could add photography, but I think that just creates a really long domain. So I think it's best if we keep things nice and short. So play around with it, see if you can come up with a unique name for your domain. Nothing too long, but it also should at least have your name in it, at least your first name, but I definitely recommend both of your names. And ideally, it also matches your Instagram handle as well. So those are my tips for getting a domain. Once you've done that, I recommend also just exploring this a little bit. There's so many cool things on Squarespace. One of the other things I recommend checking out is all extensions. Squarespace has a bunch of great extensions that we can use. Now, these are things for like finance and shipping and stuff, sales and marketing, like MailChimp. And that's a great one for building an email list. But there's some cool ones in here. There's things like print on demand. And I recommend just looking through and seeing if there's anything that's useful for you. Eventually, they probably will be as you build your product business, but maybe not right in the beginning. But basically, we just developed a portfolio website very quickly using Squarespace. And this is just one of the templates. Like I said, there's so many awesome templates, and I love how customizable all of them are. Now with Squarespace 7.0, the old version, you can easily switch your template to a new one. But with Squarespace 7.1, you cannot do that. However, Squarespace 7.1 drag and drop editor is really great, and we can basically customize anything however we choose. So I do recommend choosing the right template right off the bat. Make sure it's a style that you vibe with, preview with it, check it out. But if you choose one and you want to change it later, it's okay. You can easily customize these Squarespace pages to your liking. So that's the site, guys. I hope that was helpful for you. But just to recap, we want something that's really easy to understand, really easy to follow, clear, big images, beautiful, easy to navigate, and just a clear expression of who we are and our value.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.